something single digit in June. And this is what I was talking about the other day, where if you were just looking at the blazes, you would go that way. However, someone put logs across enough that it says, oh, don't go this way. So it is kind of confusing. I'm going to go this way because I have a feeling that's the way we're supposed to go. And in a couple hours from now, we'll turn around and be very disgusted with the whole thing. Okay. See, it would have been nice if they had it just a little closer, and you could have seen it from where we made the turn. It would have made it obvious. So, but at least oh, there we go. If you turn around, you see it. But that one says go straight too, so that is confusing. That one should say go left for the southbounders. But
we are southbound.
Okay, northbound. Okay, but you see what I mean? When you turn around, you see the double, one over the other. It says go straight. It's on that tree over there. Not make the turn. Yeah, it needs to be brushed up a little bit. Or they need to see it from a point of view of someone who hasn't been here before. I think that's part of the problem with the blazes is, oh, it's obvious. I've been here a dozen times. So, anyhow.
I've walked over there when you're walking all day, when you're stepping over the roof,
yeah,
like this, and more, those logs don't really mean much.
Yeah, it's easy to step over them.
Yeah.
But I know that that's one of the codes for don't go this way.
Yeah.
So if I see one or two, it's like, well, they could have fallen naturally. When I see three or more, then it's like, okay, maybe somebody's trying to send me a message. I know, it's very nice through here. I have a feeling they did this intentionally so they could trike the supplies in, because they made some very nice and extensive work so far that we've been walking on. And I've been thinking that they had to cart in quite a bit of materials. So, yeah, this would make complete sense if they drove it in a small truck or trailer or whatever. Yeah, don't go that way.
It's a trail.
Is it really?
Yeah, look at it.
Huh.
It's out somewhere.
Looks like a water ravine. But, and there's another one. Not quite as large. Alrighty, that's enough for now. Today we're climbing up Rowan Mountain and we're going backwards, meaning southbound. Because this way we'll only be climbing up for an hour and we'll be walking downhill for the 5 after that, which will be easier than walking 5 uphill and 1 downhill. That's the theory we're going with. And I will talk to you on our next chapter of how the feet get blisters.
Sorry.
Yes. Here is an interesting formation. Rocks with moss. Mossy stones. And when I first came upon this, I thought it was a bat house. But because there's a screen on the bottom, that's not likely. So it's definitely a house for somebody. I don't know who. My guess is some type of small bird, because there is an opening at the top, just underneath the roof structure, right over there, see? So that would be a very small bird, like a finch. And it's labeled 5A or 15A. Or H. Okay, 15H. Which maybe there's 14 other houses. Some type of research experiment. Oh, and judging by the look down there, I'm expecting to see 14H. And more rocks. ones that look like they're gonna fall down and crush you. Fortunately, it probably won't happen in the next 20 minutes. And we'll be long gone from this general area. It probably won't happen for a couple centuries. That's the hope, anyhow. And here is another house. Looks like it's made by the same people, the same manufacturing firm. And it is AT14. So I guess the letters don't mean as much as the numbers. So, and I noticed looking down that way, you can see the clouds. They're below us for the most part. There is some cloud cover above us, but I suspect it's separate clouds actually, which is interesting. And we've passed the top of Roan Mountain, so it's downhill from here. Happy days, oh happy day. We go downhill the rest of the day. And that's the point of doing some flip-flops, some short flip-flops on mountains. Because now, even if you had a full pack, it's not that arduous. So with a light pack, we could skip all the way home. And this looks like very surreal, like a fairy tale, a Hansel and Gretel type path. Yeah, it looks like something out of an imagination or a fantasy movie. Of course, with the wind blowing on the trees, we're getting peed on by all the trees. It's tree pee time. Yeah, they all have more than enough saturation on their needles, and when the wind blows, they drop it on you. To the point where you kind of think it's raining, but it's not really. And here's another house for somebody. And judging by the hear-the bird, I'm guessing we've started to hear these just recently in the last 5 minutes. That's the bird they're targeting, I would guess. And evidently successfully. Because there's a lot of that bird chatter. And yes, a bird song. And they're communicating. Unfortunately, I don't have Dr. Doolittle with me. She's home, holding the fort down. Yep, they're all through here. So I have no idea what they're saying. Although my wife would be able to decode it. She speaks cat. There's number 11. And dog. And squirrel. And chicken. And all those other wonderful creatures. Oh, the cows with the earrings down the road. And she talks to the animals. So, anyhow. So it actually does look a little bit like rain. See on the puddle, you can see all the drops. But it's the wind. I can hear it blowing up there. And feel it drizzling on me. And then we get to a slightly different spot where it wasn't blowing the same way, where the trees are shorter, and you don't get wet. So let me put the camera away. Bye-bye. Now I'm just guessing. There's no actual facts, but I would guess there was a house around it at some point in time. Because otherwise, what's the point? And it has been around quite some time. The decay on that masonry work is quite extensive. Now I am curious if you could still use it. Yeah, it's actually still functional. I don't see the point. But other than that, it's interesting. It must have been a small house because that hill has been there for quite some time. So the house must have been like over here. A small home. Matter of fact, if you get the right 10-person tent, you got a tent with a fireplace. That's a way to spend the night.
Round Mountain Road.
Oh, there was a side road over there?
I said that's
The side trail to the... Not quite as beautiful as the one in Italy. But it's still here. No, it's actually the what's left of an old hotel from the 1800s. And judging by the pipes and stuff, I'd say it's newer than that, but that's me. Anyhow, I did notice there is a road with double yellow lines on it, which means it's a fairly busy road. So it's not as remote as one might think. This is near the top of Rowan Mountain. Or is the top of Rowan Mountain. I'm unsure which. Which is over 6,000 feet in the air. See it's much thinner up here, the clouds thinned out? No, I don't think so. But it is interesting. And it's windier because there aren't many trees. And it is pretty to look at. I imagine it's prettier when there's no fog up here. But at least it's not raining on us. Alright. I'll pull you out again in the future. Bye bye. This is still Monday. I think it was 7 of June. Could be wrong on the number, but not far off. Anyhow, see this grass here? I had this kind of grass on one yard I had. It was put in before I got there. And I was always impressed by it because it gets up to a certain height and then it leans over like it's been combed. And it's like, if you're okay with the grass that high, which in a lot of places I would be, it's just combed. You don't have to do anything to it. You don't have to mow it. You don't have to do anything. It's just very, it goes for what I'd say. Maybe it's 8 inches, but it looks more like 4 to 6 because it's just combed over. I believe it's Soiza, and I was trying to get some for my new house because it's a lot larger yard, and from what I understand, it's more common in the southern states than it is in the northern states. Not that it's impossible, but it was harder to get a variety that will grow up there. I have a few sections that are like next to impossible to mow. They're very steep. I would say about a 70% grade, and the mower, you'll read somewhere between 30 and 45% is all you shouldn't go much higher than that with a mower on a grade. So when the grade goes over 45 degrees, you definitely don't want to go in there, so you end up going in there with a weed whacker, and it's a lot more work. And or you hang on to the push mower and you get your arm workout. But yeah, I'm glad I saw it and noticed it. It looks beautiful out here too. You look around, and I think it's obviously just growing wild out here. But it looks like someone's actually manicuring the lawn, except for the ferns coming up in between. But at home you'd take care of that. You thin those out. All right, I'm walking. Beautiful day going down this mountain. It's a nice stroll. The sun's come out. It's beautiful.